Did you know that the first commercial that I got that then inevitably landed me my first agent, I actually actively tried to self-sabotage. When I tell you this story is akin to like the hero's journey, it's insane. So I was really young, and at that point I had only worked like student films, you know, and I had applied to agents a year prior, no dice, and so I was spending a whole year like revving up all my materials and my resume so then I could reapply to agents. And this like commercial audition came across the casting platform, and as a non-represented actor, I was always very weary of commercials because commercials can be really tricky, the usage, and I didn't want to get bought out. I also did not want to accidentally like sign a contract that basically said like you can never work for the competition at all. I was just so concerned because I had the daylight scared out of me from horror stories of actors doing that, and so I was really cautious. I submitted to this, but I did not expect for them to request an audition, and lo and behold, they did. They expected me to show up in person. This was in the days of showing up in person for auditions. I asked everyone around me, all of the actors who had done commercials before and were represented, people at the current acting studio I was in, you know, all these people in the industry that I knew. I was like, is this legit? Is this a legit like casting? Am I going to like someplace like weird? And they were all like, no, this is legit. Go. It sounds like a great opportunity. And I was hoping one of them would say, no, don't go. No one ever said that. So fuck me, I guess. So I couldn't rely on other people to make the decision for me. It was 3 pages. I remember this vividly. It was 3 pages of material, and I memorized all of them because I was so anxious. And leading up to it, I kept having what I now know as meltdowns, but I thought they were panic attacks, but no, autism. And I just like was spiraling. I was like, I can't do this. This is it's in San Francisco. It's in a big city. I can't go to San Francisco. Like, what the fuck you mean? And every person I talked to was like, this sounds like a great opportunity. You should go. It sounds like a great opportunity. You should go. And I was like, sounds like I need Xanax right now. So one of my friends was like, oh, I got the same audition. Actually, my agent got me that audition, and I have another audition earlier that day too. So I'm already going to the city if you want to carpool. And so now I truly have no excuse. But she's like, you know what? You can give me an answer by like 9:30 a.m. If you're not at my house by 9:30, I'm scooting. It is like in the morning, probably. I don't even fucking know the time, okay? But I'm running late, which is uncharacteristic of me. And I'm like, I don't have any printed out headshots because I've never had to go to like a legit audition like this before. So I run to Walgreens and I print out my headshots, and then I run against my will under duress to my friend's house, and she's in the driveway. She's loading her car. I got there like a minute late, and obviously she let me in. We're going to San Francisco, and I'm shitting bricks, okay? I still can't believe I've gotten this far, and I'm like, I could still just not go. And so we go to her audition first, which I mind you is only a 7-minute drive away from the casting office that I need to be at in like 2 hours, which is chill. She's gonna walk with me. She's gonna show me how it goes because she's been to this casting office. And I'm like, thank God. I'm sitting on the street, well, not like on the ground, but like at a table, waiting for her as she's in her audition, and she's texting me, and she's like, hey, we're a bit behind. And I'm like, no sweat, we have plenty of time. Time goes by, and we end up not having plenty of time, and she texts me and she says, you're gonna have to walk on your own to the audition. I'm like hell I'm gonna walk. Like hell, in this city alone? You're asking a lot of someone who's unmedicated. She's like, if I'm not done in 5 minutes, you have to go walk. 5 minutes go by. She's not texting back. She's probably in the audition itself. I have to go walk. There's a piano being lifted up into like this apartment, and I'm going up and down staircases. I'm sweating. It is May in San Francisco, so it's moderate, but now I'm sweating because I've been like climbing flights of stairs and whatnot. And I go running down these stairs, and I could see across the street, that is the casting office. And I know it's the casting office because I've looked on Google Maps Street View no less than 20 times, okay? I know this is the casting office, and I'm scared to death because there's a keypad on it. And I'm not from a city. We don't need keypads where I'm from. But in the city, that's a normal thing. And my mind's like, you're going to fuck up that keypad. I don't know how, but you are. And I could see that there's someone auditioning for the same role as me, putting in the numbers. I know they're auditioning for the same role. You know how you know? Because you all look the same, you know? Like when they have a certain type. I knew. I was like, That lady's auditioning for the same role as me. I run up to her and I put on my most extroverted face, which now I'm thinking probably looked a little deranged because I was sweating so much. And I go, "Oh, are you here for the audition? I'll go in with you." And she gives me the most bitch ass bitch face ever, the coldest stare I've ever gotten. She's like, "You just read me to filth." Like, thanks. I go in there and I check in, because it's a fancy casting office. You check in, like, and there's like a little place that says like, "Put your agent here," you know, and everyone ahead of me puts like their agent. I don't have an agent, so I leave it blank. I feel like I'm already in trouble. I finally sit down, once again, sweating. And the casting director, I'm assuming it's all a blur, goes like, "Oh, like Ethel?" And I'm like, "Yeah." And she's like, "You'll be first up. You'll be first up for this next group. We're starting your group soon." I'm like, "Oh, cool. I got no time to just chill, do I? I need to say this. I need to say this because the audition, the audition includes an attractive man. Okay, it's literally written in there like handsome man, attractive man, something to that effect. The adjective is used that this guy's hot. And for one of the pages, I have a scene with him, and he puts his arm around me. I need to know, once again, I'm so sweaty. It's bad. Like, oh God. Because there's the guy, they're like, "We're pairing you up with this guy." And he's hot. And I'm the equivalent of a slimy sponge. They bring me in, you know, I didn't have time to catch my breath. And I stand there, like in this room with all these other people, you know, like just staring at you. And he stands by the door, the attractive guy. That's what we're going to call him. And they're like, "We could do your scene first with Ethel, and then like you could skedaddle because you just have one scene." And he goes, No, let Ethel do all the scenes that Ethel needs to do, and then I'll come in." And I was like, thank you, because maybe by then I'll be less sweaty. We can pray. I do every single page 3 times. They're laughing. They're like, "Try it this way." And I'm like, "Okay." And I'm thinking, this is how it goes every single time for commercial auditions because I have nothing to compare it to. So I think this is normal. And then they're like, "Okay, now we're going to bring in the guy, the attractive guy." And I'm like, "Shit, fuck me, eat shit and die." And they're like, "You know what? Instead of you putting your arm around Ethel, how about you just put your hand on his chest for that one line? Just be like, yep, there we go." And I'm like, there is a God. There's someone out there who really wanted me at this audition. But we do that and whatnot. I was in that room, I think like 40 minutes. I come out of there and my friend is obviously there. It's like, "You were in there for a while." And I was like, "I know, commercial auditions take fucking forever." She's like, "No, they don't." So we go get some like drinks, not alcohol. I don't know why I said it like that. We come back because she has to audition for the same role, and we're sitting on the couch in the lounge, and one of the producers sees me through like when the door opens, when they let someone come out of a room. That tends to happen with a door. And like looks at me and is like, "Ethel, why are you back here?" And I was like, "Oh, I carpooled. My friend's auditioning for the same role." And the producer then like scurries over and like crouches behind the couch and asks me like, "How old are you?" And I know why she's asking, because they're willing to pay for a minor. They're willing to pay the extra fees and get a teacher on set for a minor, because this role is for like a 16-year-old, and I'm legal, you know, barely. I'm legal though. And so I knew that I did have like that one advantage of like I cost less and I look like I'm 10. They called me back and I was against one other person. I think it was just one other person. And this other actor was actually a minor because her mom was there. My mom was also there, but in the car. I did the audition. I booked the gig. It was, to this day, the biggest commercial I've ever booked. So go figure on that. And I remember before one of the takes on the final days, the director asked me, like, "Ethel, do you have an agent?" And I said, "No." And the producer was like, "Do you want an agent?" And it's like moments like that you dream of as an actor, right? Like where you're like, "Oh my God, someone discovered me." Like someone noticed me. But I fought tooth and nail to not go to that audition. And I mean, I still went through the motions of like memorizing, printing out my headshot and everything, but I procrastinated. I freaked out the whole process. And yet, that audition, and like so many things went wrong too along the way, but like that audition booked me a commercial that then got me with an agent. And I'm going to be honest, I don't think I would have been able to get an agent any other way. I don't think self-submitting would have gotten me this type of agent. All this to say, I think it's a wild story. I think it's so fun to look back on. Still thinking about it to this day, I sweat. I sweat so much. Yeah, don't get jealous of my butterfly sweater.